Love watching my old friends, Torsos and Drippe, play. It's been a long time. You know, we've been seeing them all the way since OCE was welcomed officially to the region, and they're still at the top of the game.
And Deca, the newest name on the team, he's been hanging in pretty well with this Cringe Society team. As far as Mindfreak goes, though, they haven't been hanging well against Cringe Society lately. In the last 6 matches, they've lost all of them, and Cringe Society will take the first goal. That's going to be Deca's first.
And I love that first touch from Deca. He was on 0 boost. Was able to still get the perfect touch to go with the setup. He had Torsos leading the charge as a blocker. Cringe Society not wasting any time. Twitch chat thought this was going to be not a complete blowout. I mean, it was still pretty heavily in favor of Cringe Society, but from my understanding, Cringe Society is the heavy favorite, and they don't waste any time. A second goal already.
I mean, in the last 3 matches, if you look at the game wins, it's 11-3 for Cringe Society. Torsos gets a nice little redirect back into the net, but they've owned this matchup for the last few times they've met up. And I think Jake and Yummy were alluding to that, where people think Mindfreak, all right, this is the time that they take down Cringe Society. And then Cringe Society put on a 2-spot in the first minute of game 1. And Mindfreak are left still stuck on defense, trying to manage their clears against Cringe Society. Well, Requiem, he was just stuck on the back wall with no boost. But did the job well enough, able to get the ball out to Caveman Ben. And despite the low boost situation on defense, very cautious, not taking too many risks, and that was good enough for Cringe Society for another clear as well. Mindfreak can't stay past the midfield line. So Fever letting that drop in front. Mindfreak continuing to struggle to get these clears and then keep the ball out of their own half.
Oh, but this could be a chance. They've rotated heavily into Cringe Society's half, getting them locked down in the corner. A quality challenge, almost had that shot on net there.
Ooh, good midfield there by Mindfreak. Torsos was surely going to put some heat towards the net.
And Requiem had a back pass there and put that pass a little too far forward. So we're seeing some creativity from Mindfreak. And now the 50. Oh, what a dunk from Caveman Ben.
Caveman Ben knew exactly how this was going to happen. Pops this up. I'm going to go for it. Nope. Dunk right on the Drippe. Beautiful adjustment in midair. And that's how you like to win 50s, James. I wish every 50 like that went into the net. That would be
he
quite
clubbed
exciting.
him. I mean, he's getting that Caveman club out, using it, showing us how it's done.
I mean, that was seriously what they needed. I mean, they were struggling to grab any boost on the pitch, and you could tell that they wanted to move forward, but they were always stuck scrambling for pads and making saves. Fever making another one. Requiem not able to get back to it, but they're back here where they were earlier.
And Jory, Fever had to go all the way to Cringe Society's half and get their corner boost before coming back. And he actually sets up this play after getting back, making the stop. And then that flick and Torsos respawned right in front of him. So that is incredibly unfortunate for Cringe Society.
Yeah, Drippe was screening across the net, and then Torsos spawns, is like, all right, I'm going to flip into it. But Drippe's still going supersonic. He didn't have a chance to slow down and even react to it. Just like that, Requiem gets Mindfreak back into a tie. And after that explosive first minute, James, Cringe Society have struggled on the counter-attack efforts of Mindfreak a couple of times now.
Yeah, Mindfreak has really stepped up the pace. And where they've gotten much better is their challenges. They're winning these 50s immensely. And for Torsos, normally when somebody respawns right in front of you, it's a bad thing. You know, you're hoping to catch that net open after a demo. But that last play, Torsos respawned and pinched it straight into a perfect pass for Mindfreak. So Mindfreak, it looked like it was going to be a very rough start for him, but they have kept going. This one, another blistering shot from Caveman Ben. And now Mindfreak have the lead.
And Requiem, he had no boost on this, but it didn't matter. It was just the pure fact that he was falling towards it. And all of Cringe Society are like, okay, he's just going to drag that ball into the ground. We'll challenge it, trap it, get it out, no problem. But Requiem, all he's got to do is shout, no boost. And Caveman Ben snipes it from under him. And I don't think any of Cringe Society were expecting that. Looking at the first and second man, I think that all eyes were on the ball and Requiem on that last attempt. Cringe Society, another demo. The last couple of offensive attempts, they've been trying to demo Mindfreak on the line, but Mindfreak just keep getting these long clears, and a lot of times they're carries. Cringe Society might be able to catch them out, but the third man has been pretty reliable so far for Mindfreak in these last 3 minutes.
Mindfreak, can they hold on? It seemed like Cringe Society had a lot in the tank, but maybe they gassed themselves out early, and maybe just that goal after Torsos spawning there, maybe they're emotionally feeling it right now, because it seems really, Jorby, like you were saying, they are completely flat right now on the offensive side.
Ooh, Fever having to adjust. It's still looking a little scary on the Mindfreak goal line. They're having trouble on that first line defense, and the second falls apart. Drippe collects for Cringe Society, tying it up.
You saw that coming. The panic there, Fever and Requiem both getting out of position. Fever wasn't really sure where to go, and Drippe was able to get that one, sneaking it through the defensive line.
So Mindfreak, Caveman Ben, he's actually just going to drop down. I'm not sure if, he was intending for just a quick drop onto the ground and maybe a quick shot, but he had a good angle on the flip reset. He didn't have a lot of boosts. Maybe that's why. Either way, Caveman Ben hops on top of it again. You want to talk about Mindfreak upping their challenge game. He's been the center of it. Every time he gets into the ball and he's tasked with a challenge in midfield, Caveman Ben has been there for Mindfreak to get them, to keep them pushing forward or to bail them out of a couple situations. He's been pretty critical so far. This overtime, I feel, also very critical for Mindfreak, despite it only being game one.
And he's looking very good. Ben, we've seen him already get a flip reset, showing his mechanics, and those big goals as well, a pair of them. Maybe Mindfreak can get something going now in overtime. Definitely the underdogs here against Cringe Society. Oh, that could be it. Odeka barely getting that save.
Almost got caught. Cringe Society were all grouped up together on the one corner, and Fever had almost sniped it. He still might find some space. One demo from Caveman Ben. Fever got the catch, took his time, got another 50 win. Here comes K.A. Requiem, will get it. Mindfreak sent the house to make sure they got the game win.
And this patience from Fever lets the ball drop. He snakes through and lays it up. That was quite the pass, quite the setup from Fever.
I totally agree, James, and it's also a big first win for Mindfreak. They've only won one game in their last 2 matches. This is their second, so they've already matched their game win total from the last 2 times they've played. And I thought that Caveman Ben, despite being at the bottom of the scoreboard with 2 goals, Fever, it's always really impressive when you can take the MVP away from your teammates with no goals on the board. And I think that shows just how instrumental he was on defense and with those setups, James.
And certainly Fever had some huge plays, even going all the way out to enemy territory to snag a boost, get back in time, lead the counterattack. Then that last play, getting it around all those defenders, he read them like a book and was able to get that ball in a dangerous spot. Requiem finished that off in overtime. So Mindfreak, you can't forget, Jorby, they gave away 2 goals right at the beginning of that game. It seemed like Cringe Society was going to cruise to a victory in game 1, but after those first 2 goals for Cringe Society, things really started to look shaky for them. And Mindfreak still holding strong, getting that first game 1 win despite being that underdog.
Yeah, I just felt like Cringe Society weren't expecting to lose the challenges. Like, even after they had gotten scored on the second time and the game was tied, the rotation never really started to respect the fact that, well, they had lost midfield, and now they're losing the ball in front of their own box. Fever grabbed a rebound. Requiem's going to need to stop the counterattack really quick, but now behind it, Torsos, well, it'll be easily knocked away by Caveman Ben, but this is where they succeeded in the first minute, James. Just really consistent pressure, forcing a lot of awkward touches on the back wall, setting up maybe another chance. Fever back to Requiem for another defense.
And getting in front of that challenge there. This is going to set up a play for Caveman Ben in the air. Gets his jump back off the ceiling. He was looking for a highlight play, Jorby.
That would have been crazy. I saw him come off and he's like, is he just going to flip into that? That would have been nuts. Oh, he's really feeling it. Yeah. Getting super aggressive on a lot of these challenges, but he keeps grabbing a canister every time he rotates back. You can understand why he wants to keep pushing.
I mean, if you just won this last game, Caveman Ben scored a pair of goals as well. I think he's looking much more confident than almost any other player on the field right now. Zero hesitation. And zero hesitation on some very challenging plays as well.
Oh,
even there, that touch was incredibly difficult.
Yeah. I mean, he misses that at all. That's probably a goal. Fever was going to be in a really tough spot. So, I mean, that whole sequence right there was really showing you how good Caveman Ben's feeling, and he stops another one for Fever. Can't sneak it by the gap, and it's picked up again by Torsos, but really, I can't help but just look at Mindfreak being in control on defense, grabbing every rebound, but that was really Cringe Society's goal, and they lost it.
Cringe Society, that was a golden opportunity. And they've had a few chances now where Mindfreak has been on that goal line. They've allowed things to bounce off the backboard, but still no goal come through for Cringe Society, whose offense has dried up since the beginning of game one.
Ooh, Requiem wasn't expecting the pass, and it's blown apart. Drippe will punish Mindfreak on this attempted passing play from Caveman Ben.
And Caveman Ben was trying to put it across. You're 100% right, Jorby. And it was just not the right time. The setup wasn't there. Mistake for Mindfreak, and Drippe will clock an easy goal.
Oh, is that another? Wow. Deca will pick up the goal off of what looked like a whifty here in midfield. Ooh.
Yeah, that was the challenge there from Caveman Ben. I don't know if he got a piece of it or if it just kicked out, but either way, kickoffs, a lot of times that can happen to you. Kickoff goal conceded for Mindfreak, so now they're in the exact same situation they were in game one, find themselves down by 2. Will they be able to come back this time?
Well, Mindfreak, they got a little less time to do it. Not a ton of boost in the tank. One canister finally picked up, and Requiem buying time as well. Requiem has been a good presence for Mindfreak in the midfield overall today. He slowed down a lot of attempted counterattacks from Cringe Society, but they really need something going on offense. You can't constantly try to keep this ball away from Cringe Society on your own half. We're talking 3 minutes into game 2, and Mindfreak have 0 shots on net. Beavers had to save the ball 3 times off the 6 shots from Cringe Society. They are really struggling to keep this ball in the orange half. Requiem, another challenge, and Caveman Ben just didn't have the read on the side, so Cringe Society take the ball up again. Demo from Requiem might give Fever the chance he needs. It's bumped up in front. Caveman Ben sets it up again. He just didn't have enough boost to really get the power down onto it. Now Cringe Society look for what would be a really game-clinching 3rd goal at this point.
And that was the opportunity there for Mindfreak. They needed to score at that point. You can tell Cringe Society starting to amp up. Just looking at the shots, already 6 shots for Cringe Society to none for Mindfreak. Mindfreak, they struggled at times to get boost. They're struggling right now. Cringe Society in full control.
Looking much better. And this time there was a little bit more respect afforded to the midfield presence from Mindfreak. But Mindfreak were starting to get a little too comfortable with the challenges they were winning. And I mean, that's something we see all teams across the entire world struggle with, is, you know, getting complacent on offense and, you know, getting caught in the rhythm rather than feeling the ebbs and flow of the rhythm of the game. And then you end up creeping up too far in your positioning. The challenge flies over your head and it's a goal. And Cringe Society, they've adjusted. You know, they're not the third man isn't pushing up so far on every push. They definitely recognize what Mindfreak were doing, getting a little bit more aggressive, but now they punished them for it, James, and it was like what they did in the first 2 minutes of game one, which was starve the boost, just consistently pressure the backboard, and that seems to be working against Mindfreak for Cringe Society to tie up the set.
Yeah, Mindfreak, they got that respect after game one. We saw how quickly Cringe Society started. Perhaps they were getting a little sloppy, a little loose around the edges, or rough around the edges, and now Cringe Society answering right back. Not even a single shot coming out from Mindfreak, but they did have some chances. Just not making the most of them, really, Jorby. So we'll see if they can get that shooting back on point, because they had some great plays in game one, especially to have that comeback win. So Mindfreak, we know they've got it in them just from what we already saw in the series, but this was not it.
And I thought that they had the pieces in game two. Like, they had some good carries, but then it always either came down to the boost game, or they weren't able to put the ball in a high percentage scoring situation in front of the box. They'd always end up losing possession at a bad time, and then they would end up making a poor decision in midfield when they feel like they're already behind, and then get scored on off of those high pressure defensive situations. I think if Mindfreak just spend a little less time on defense, they won't feel so much pressure. And, you know, I don't think they've been panicky. I wouldn't call them that, but they are certainly not aggressive enough in the boost game against Cringe Society, which is where their biggest fault is now. But Fever wants to heat things up in game three off the kickoff, gets the first goal.
He's really sick. He's flicking it past Drippe. And, you know, I was going to say, Jorby, as you were talking, game one thing that they were doing really well was dribbling. They were dribbling very well, especially Fever. You think back even to the overtime winner, slowing the ball down, dribbling it in the corner. So maybe we need to see Mindfreak do a little bit more of that. When you've got the time, take it, because it really worked out game one.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought Cringe Society were about to really make Fever feel bad about where he was sitting in front of the net. He was expecting a pass earlier. It all fell apart, and now we're back on the orange half, so maybe he can put a shot on net and score. Oh, it's off the post. Almost snuck in between the gaps of Cringe Society. Mindfreak, another challenge in front. Requiem, he will actually let that one sit. And Fever's forced to come up, but here comes the defense again for Mindfreak, and they seem to get in a tough situation after a first mistake, but Fever's double blocked, and no goal for Caveman Ben. Requiem, the little boost that he has, put more pressure on Cringe Society, and Mindfreak now really wanting to guard the edges, but it's tough as Cringe Society find another clear.
Oh, I love that play from Torsos. Oh, no, on both sides. I can't believe that a goal did not go in either one of those situations. That was as close as it gets, Jorby.
I absolutely agree, and I thought the Cringe Society counterattack was great, but then that one banged off the post, so both teams trying to find the edges of the net. Deca up quickly for this. This is looking great for Cringe Society, and Torsos tips it in for a Cringe Society tie.
And we saw Fever going up for that. When he missed, that was pretty much the death blow. Caveman Ben too slow to get to that as well. The pass off the arc, exactly what Cringe Society was looking for. And we've got a tie game.
Mindfreak, they still have some really good things going for them. Fever in particular, who's been looking more and more comfortable on the ground especially. And James, you had pointed out the dribble game in game one, but wait a minute, let's talk about his acrobatics for a second. Almost snuck in another double. If he keeps going for it, I'm convinced he's going to hit the next one.
Oh, you hope so, because he's done so much work. He's had some crazy shots. Very, very difficult angles, and to get that close and come up short twice now in a game that's tied, that has got to be rough.
Ooh, Cringe Society. We're a little lost on the defensive rotation, and so they're slow to some of these challenges. Running into that same problem from earlier where you see the third man rotating a little quickly, and Caveman Ben makes a great stop, and Requiem makes an arguably even more important touch to get it away from Cringe Society on the return. Fever going to be a little slow. Cringe Society another clear. Oh, a nice little pop. But Cringe Society really wanting to defend the edges, and the demo will just open it up. Deca can just leave the premise, and Drippe rolls it in for Cringe Society.
And that demo really ruined things for Mindfreak. And it all dated back to that touch. It was a bit too heavy of a touch that gave up possession from their own corner. You really need to know when you have that space so you can slow down the play and get a quality clear, or at least buy enough time for your teammates to be in position for when you do lose possession. Bit of a panicky defensive play from Mindfreak, and also a heads up play from Torsos getting that demo. And we've seen how effective demos can be. Doesn't matter what region you're in, you time that demo perfectly on that last man back, it's going to be a very challenging moment for the other team to keep out. But as I'm speaking, Requiem shuts me up with a goal. Mindfreak tie this one back up.
Requiem gets the goal, and it comes off the miss from Deca, who missed it by about a pixel or two. Although gap's probably a little wider if you look at it from a straight angle, but Deca, I mean, that's one he's got to finesse. He's going backwards and has to really figure out when that camera whips over his head as he jumps up to find the rebound, and that was tough to find, but Mindfreak do take advantage of it, and this time on Fever's ball to push it back into the back wall. Requiem pick up another demo. Mindfreak happy to go back to demos whenever they see fit, but they can't hang on to the ball just yet, and their challenges haven't waned too far, James, but Cringe Society certainly hanging on to it a little bit more. Fever getting the next clear out to the side.
Counterattack opportunity. Fever wanted to get that center ball. If he gets that touch, maybe Mindfreak takes the lead.
A lot of hang time, a lot of Cringe Society. They like to try to trap it, and Torsos shows you why. Able to stand up that dominance, make it as wide as possible to get that last save. Rotation relaxing a little bit for Cringe Society again, but Caveman Ben is all over that first pass in midfield. If he's got the resource to take care of it, then he will be there. He clearly really favors the first man position in this match. They've kept it close, Mindfreak. They'd love to take game advantage here, because the longer it goes, every loss just turns the day into a marathon, into more of a marathon, and we've seen that it definitely hurts some teams. But here comes a shot from Fever, blocked, and Requiem waits for Torsos. He wins this touch. Caveman Ben is flat on the ground, has to retreat. Torsos, 2 touches. Does he have a third? No, waits. It's no shot, but Drippe sets it up, and the ball's high from Requiem in the box. Cringe Society let it drop. We got OT.
Yet again, overtime. Mindfreak was able to get the first win. Can they get another?
Oh, Requiem just goes for the bump. Fever gets the double, but no. Tried to find a really tight angle. That's a tough ask. I don't care who you are. Oh, that challenge is right into the net, but no! Taken away by Requiem out to the corner.
And that would have been a tough one to give up. Still challenging, the low boost. Requiem can't reach it in time, and Drippe will blast it over his head. And Cringe Society getting the win.
Oh, and he tried. He only had a couple boosts left. And just as he turned, he was just beat to the ball. It's about the angle you wanted him to take on it. Cringe Society all over them on that approach. Low boost, eventually the nail in the coffin, if you will, James. But really, Requiem made that first save, and then both Caveman Ben and Fever were both sitting back in net and weren't able to support him. And so I believe it was Torsos. He got a free look at the ball right in front of the box again and just slapped it against the back wall. And that really put Mindfreak through a loop, basically, and they couldn't really figure out how to get out then.
Yeah, that was a very tough situation. And we've seen Mindfreak struggle with boost at times. Cringe Society able to really milk it out of them. But we saw so many opportunities from Fever where he came so close to hitting a nasty shot and barely missed. So that has got to be tough for Fever. Mindfreak, though, putting up quite a fight, Jorby. Just going by what Cheeseman and Jake were telling me, I didn't think this one was going to be as close as it is right now.
And, the previous results would tell you the same, James. I have to say, for Cringe Society, I do believe some of this is kind of their own making in terms of the closeness of the match, but I also got to give tons of credit to, all three, Requiem, Fever, and Caveman Ben. trying to get a passing play together. Have had solid approaches, good 50s. Really, the main thing I think that kills them is they just look uncomfortable in low boost situations. I do think that that's the main thing that kills this team, because when they have the confidence of the boost, they are more confident positionally, and they're more confident with where they want to place the ball. But as soon as they get into a low boost situation, that's where they really start to turtle up. They want to receive the ball instead of trying to go out and get it on the challenge. And now in front, Requiem, well, 2 challenges knocked away by Torsos, but Mindfreak on the attack right now. Another series of good challenges. K-Man Ben behind the latest couple of them. But just no real angle forward. They keep trying to find these passes in the corner, too, on offense. Here they get one. I think if they keep going for that, it was pretty tight, though.
It was, but they almost made it work. Requiem just hanging up there. Caveman Ben, I like what I've seen from Caveman Ben so far. He's not afraid to go for some of these crazy plays, tough angles, low percentage shots. And I think if you can hit some plays like that, it really does boost your confidence. And that's how you reach that next level, is going for those plays that are spectacular. And I've seen Ben already attempt a couple of them on his own, and he's already made a few plays in this series as well and converted them.
And Requiem does keep the ball locked here. As we've been talking, Mindfreak have pretty much been safely rotating on this right side of the attacking half. Requiem, another challenge, tough to handle. Deca able to receive again, but a very aggressive approach here from Mindfreak. Requiem, he didn't have any boosts to grab that rebound, and now Cringe Society turn it right back onto them. Caveman Ben forcing the ball out into the corner. Requiem, he was gone. Caveman Ben picking up pennies, or dimes, if you will, as he goes with no boosts. Fever back in front on the corner. Uses everything he has in the tank. He almost had a full 100 on the play. Now Requiem finally flips it over. And Mindfreak, as dangerous as it may have looked, really Cringe Society giving them just enough time to make the decision, but that is too fast for Fever to catch, and Torsos finally hits the mark.
Yeah, it's a certified banger. 78 miles an hour off the pass from Deca. Not a chance to stop that one. Torsos, you love that kind of shot there, Jorby. No matter who you're rooting for, it's always a thing of beauty when you have such a hard shot right where someone's aiming it in the top corner.
Ooh. A couple nice touches from Deca, and Drippe ends up backflipping into this. Right back into Torsos. What is this play?
Oh.
And he missed! He missed the ball!
Drippe!
That was going to be a free goal, but instead, it's Caveman Ben behind it. Oh, he gets eliminated. Oh, he got demoed by Deca, saving the ball. And what? How is that not a goal 2 or 3 different times, James?
I don't even know. That was...
What was all of that?
I don't know. I don't even know what you call that. I don't even want to try to explain it. That was a disaster all around.
Ooh. Another chance, to get up 2-0. Well, I think Cringe Society, you've certainly had the opportunity to start to put this game away, and now you got to do it again. But Requiem makes Drippe's job difficult, just too far off the ball. Fever makes the next challenge. Now Caveman Ben's gonna wait for Requiem here. Requiem, high bounce, and Caveman Ben just couldn't find the read, so Mindfreak, their attack might be dead right here unless Requiem gets the hop in midfield. He did. Now Caveman Ben pops it up once. Oh, he got bumped, and he definitely had the touch. The rest of Mindfreak crash in front of the box. Requiem stops him again, and Requiem has consistently stopped Cringe Society from getting any kind of presence in midfield. Maybe they finally get it here, but on those last 4 attempts, James, Requiem has been the guy stopping them.
Yeah, Requiem, it's a brick wall, but at the same time, you have to give kudos to Cringe Society, whose bumps and demos have saved them so far. Even on that play where you thought they were going to score, the shooting opportunity where they walked away empty-handed, that demo saved them, and the bumps as well. So the physical play from Cringe Society, that has set them apart from Mindfreak right now.
Oh, Caveman Ben off the ceiling, no good. Mindfreak in the final seconds look for their last hurrah on the box. up high. Covered for the clear, a Cringe Society, and Fever wants that ball out to Caveman Ben. The ball, all it has to do for Cringe Society is touch the ground, and then they are one match away from qualifying for the playoffs.
And there you go, Cringe Society. Twitch chat was right. They got the win here against Mindfreak, but Mindfreak did not make it easy. There were times where you were a bit worried for Cringe Society, Mindfreak, especially in that game one, the comeback victory. So I think Mindfreak is definitely a team that you're looking to make that top 8, make it to playoffs. And they've got what it takes, I think, to make some upset happens once you're in that single elimination territory.
I think so too. I think there's a lot to like about what we saw from Mindfreak because, you know, we had to see resilience from them. It wasn't always, it wasn't really ever a walk in the park for them. But, you know, when Cringe Society were making those small mental mistakes, Mindfreak were always on top of them. And then when they gained that confidence, they were able to drive the flow of the game themselves. And I think that's something that you really want in a team like Mindfreak when you watch them play against Cringe Society. They don't win here, but I think the more you see Mindfreak, the better they're certainly going to look. We got plenty of more Oceania Rocket League coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.